Hey, welcome back. It's the penultimate day of the Proverbs Challenge. We made it, Proverbs 30. So don't forget to like this video, listen for your favorite verse to comment below, and subscribe. Also, that little bell, click that and click all. That way you can be notified of all my upcoming projects as well. Proverbs 30. The words of Agur, the son of Jakeh, his utterance. This man declared to Ithiel, to Ukal. Surely I am more stupid than any man, and do not have the understanding of a man. I neither learned wisdom, nor have knowledge of the Holy One. Who has ascended into heaven or descended? Who has gathered the wind in his fists? Who has bound the waters in a garment? Who has established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name, if you know? Every word of God is pure. He is a shield to those who put their trust in him. Do not add to his words, lest he rebuke you, and you be found a liar. 2 things I request of you. Deprive me not before I die. Remove falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with the food allotted to me, lest I be full and deny you and say, Who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and profane the name of my God. Do not malign a servant to his master, lest he curse you and you be found guilty. There is a generation that curses its father and does not bless its mother. There is a generation that is pure in its own eyes, yet is not washed from its filthiness. There is a generation, oh, how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up. There is a generation whose teeth are like swords, and whose fangs are like knives, to devour the poor from the earth and the needy from among men. The leech has 2 daughters, give and give. There are 3 things that are never satisfied. 4 never say enough. The grave, the barren womb, the earth that is not satisfied with water, and the fire that never says enough. The eye that mocks his father and scorns obedience to his mother, the ravens of the valley will pick it out, and the young eagles will eat it. There are 3 things which are too wonderful for me, yes, 4 which I do not understand. The way of an eagle in the air, the way of a serpent on a rock, the way of a ship in the midst of the sea, and the way of a man with a virgin. This is the way of an adulterous woman. She eats and wipes her mouth and says, I have done no wickedness. For 3 things the earth is perturbed. Yes, for 4 it cannot bear up. For a servant when he reigns, a fool when he is filled with food, a hateful woman when she is married, and a maidservant who succeeds her mistress. There are 4 things which are little on the earth, but they are exceedingly wise. The ants are a people not strong, yet they prepare their food in the summer. The rock badgers are a feeble folk, yet they make their homes in the crags. The locusts have no kings, yet they advance in ranks. The spider skillfully grasps with his hands and is in kings' palaces. There are 3 things which are majestic in pace, yes, 4 which are stately in walk. A lion which is mighty among beasts, and does not turn away from any. A greyhound, a male goat also, and a king whose troops are with him. If you have been foolish in exalting yourself, or if you have devised evil, put your hand on your mouth. For as the churning of milk produces butter, and the wringing of the nose produces blood, so the forcing of wrath produces strife. Proverbs 30. All right, go ahead and comment your favorite verse down below. I know there are a bunch of great ones in this chapter. This is definitely one of my favorite chapters of Proverbs here. The imagery and the poetry are very interesting. So let's jump right in with this first part. You know, this is interesting in Proverbs, interesting in the Old Testament, but especially in Proverbs, we don't often see the person of Christ or salvation or that sort of theme. It's about wisdom. It's about, you know, a godly walk, listening to instruction, listening to counsel. But right here in Proverbs 30, we see very clearly a picture of Jesus Christ, who's ascended into heaven and descended, who gathered the wind in his fists, who's bound the waters in his garment, who established, you know, what is his name and what is his son's name, if you know. And so it's really interesting to see here this picture of God and Jesus, of course, right here, what is his son's name? Verse 5 is a great one, great reminder. Every word of God is pure, and he is a shield to those who put their trust in him. Great one. Oh, how important verse 6 is. Do not add to his words, lest he rebuke you and you be found a liar. That is terrifying. How important it is that we don't add to the words of God. In Revelation, it says, do not add to this book. This is the word of God. We cannot add or detract from it. This is the word of God. We cannot add to his words, lest he rebuke you and you be found a liar, which is absolutely terrifying and should strike fear and trepidation into every Christian's heart. I really like verses 8 and 9. I've always appreciated these. Give me neither riches nor poverty. Feed me with the food allotted to me, lest I be full and deny you, or be poor and steal and profane the name of my God. You know, so many people seek to be rich, and so many people also are poor. But right here, Solomon says, just give me just enough that I won't steal and deny your name, and not too much that I would deny the name of my Lord. So it's a good reminder for all of us to not chase after riches. After all, Solomon's writing this as the wisest and richest man who ever lived, and he's saying, hey, don't give me too much, Lord, because I might deny you. And as we know, that somewhat happened throughout Solomon's life. I really appreciate verse 11 through 14. This really, I guess, sums up every generation, but I feel like it sums up our generation so much. And modern Western culture, there's a generation that curses its father and does not bless its mother. There's a generation that's pure in its own eyes, yet not washed from its filthiness. There's a generation that how lofty their eyes are and their eyelids are lifted up. There's a generation whose teeth are like swords to devour the poor from off the earth. But I really appreciate that right there. There's a generation that's pure in its own eyes, yet is not washed from its own filthiness. That is why we must turn to Christ and have his blood wash us pure as the white snow. This is really interesting here at the end of 15, 16, and when it talks about there are things that never say enough. Okay, so speaking of fires that never say enough, remember a few days ago when I mentioned that I was at a bonfire night and hymn sing? My friends that were at the bonfire were all happy that I actually, they were all like, oh, we got mentioned. And they were teasing me because I didn't mention them by name. So I was like, all right, I got you guys. Here's to you, Kelly, and Dan, and Anna, and Kathleen. So there we go. You've got your shout outs by name, guys. Now you're totally going to be famous. I really appreciate verse 17. It's so important that we honor our parents, and not only that, but elders. Verse 17 says, the eye that mocks his father and scorns obedience to his mother, the ravens of the valley will pick it out and the young eagles will eat it. What a terrifying end if we do not honor our parents and our elders and those in authority over us. And of course, there's more of this poetic imagery. I really appreciate this, just sort of not necessarily practical application, just in awe of the Creator and what he created. The locusts have no king, yet they advance in ranks. The rock badgers are feeble, but they make their homes in the crags of the rocks. Ants aren't that strong, but they prepare their food in the summer. It's really interesting. And of course, I like this right here. And a king whose troops are with him are things that are majestic. That king, he's not backing down from anybody. He's there in the middle. He has his troops at his command, and that is a mighty thing to behold. Ending with verse 32, so important to not exalt ourselves. Here it says, if you've been foolish in exalting yourself, or if you've devised evil, put your hand on your mouth. Shut up and stop promoting yourself. It's about the Lord. It's not about you. If you've been foolish in exalting yourself, or have devised evil, put your hand over your mouth. So what a great proverb. Actually, this is a special one. We always used to talk about it, because when my brother was at a camp, this was his proverb. All the boys got assigned a proverb for the month when they were there, and his was Proverbs 30. So every month he would read Proverbs 30 when he was at the camp. Proverbs 30 is a great one. We made it. Don't forget to like, comment your favorite verse down below, and click that notification bell so that you can get notified of all my upcoming videos. One more day to go, guys. Proverbs 31, and then we have completed. We did the Proverbs challenge. Thank you for joining with me, and this has been a super fun experience. All right, the end.